My name is Conrad Wilson, also known as Larry Wilson. Born in Los Angeles, California. Migrated to Oregon with my father and his girlfriend and her children. Visiting here in 1968, right about the time that John F. Kennedy was killed and Martin Luther King was assassinated. As I moved to Salem, Oregon, I was just a young man living with a family. We were very poor, indigent, but we were happy. At the age of 7, someone drove by our house about 2 o'clock in the morning and riddled the house with approximately 19 bullets. No one was killed, no one was hit with those bullets, but it was the first drive-by shooting in the Pacific Northwest since Martin Luther King assassination.
That's why I was so shocked. Of course prejudice exists, and of course even in those days, people might say something or whatever, but because we didn't have the violence, because we didn't have the heavy strife,
right?
And yet your house was shot up.
Yeah.
And that is strife, and that is violence, and so the fact that we didn't know that in Fairmont, I don't think was anybody saying, ooh, this is horrible, we have to keep it under wraps. I know, especially Clay Myers and there's a lot of leaders that lived on Fairmont Hill.
Yeah.
They knew what had happened in North Salem, but it wasn't important to say, oh, here's the Wilson family. They're living in our neighborhood because they had a problem in their neighborhood. Or they had to come here to a safe neighborhood because their neighborhood... It wasn't any of that. It was just, the Wilsons are here.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go shoot hoops. Your story, I think, could be very powerful to help us understand that two things. Growing up in Salem was a blessing. Growing up in Salem was not perfect. Growing up in Salem helped you become the man you are today.
Yes.
With positives.
Yes.
Basketball, mentors, Vic Backlund, Clay Myers, a skinny kid from Fairmont Hill, me and my brother both.
Yes.
So these are the good things that influenced you, your family, and then there were bad things.
Yes.
And your house being shot up. Yeah. Maybe people not calling you names out loud, but thinking things about you. Doors not as open as they could be or should be.
Yes.
Or people thinking of you only as an athlete.
The city of Salem embraced us, the family, the Wilson families, and some of the Baileys, embraced us and moved us from out of Northeast Salem over to South Salem, directly across the street from the Secretary of State, who resided, he worked in the Capitol building here. His name was Clay Myers. As a young man growing up in Salem, it wasn't very diverse. There were a lot of racial issues that were unresolved. It was just people were uncommon to one another, but they had an opportunity to embrace different cultures because of athletics, etc. So I began to excel in sports at that time.
Summer of '72, I'm guessing it was fairly early summer that you and I met. And the way I remember the story is that you came down and you knew my neighbor across the street.
Oh, that's
across the street, Robert.
That's true.
You guys came over knocking on our door because Robert knew me and looking for a pump for basketball.
That's right.
And next thing I knew, we were across the street playing basketball for hours and hours a day, day in, day out, by streetlight, by whatever.
Yeah.
And lots of one-on-one play.
Yeah.
Primarily. I don't think we ever played with others.
No, it was just each other, one-on-one.
It was a lot of one-on-one.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun.
I got acquainted with Larry when he was going to enter McNary High School. I was the basketball coach at that time. I'd heard Larry, I heard his name many times playing a lot of Y basketball, and he went to Waldo, which at that time basically fed a rival high school.
Yes.
And so I didn't expect that Larry would ever come to McNary, except I heard that he was living near Highland Elementary School, and that was McNary territory.
Yes.
So I hustled around and made contact with Larry and others, and we got him into summer basketball. And so he went to McNary 3 years, graduated in 1979, and I was very proud of him for being able to do that. And he was, as you might suspect, an outstanding basketball player.
Look at life and look at the skills and the relationships that I built over the course of life, and people coming in
to make me be an NCAA athlete helped me to realize if I can use those same skills that I battled on the court, that I played against big guys, that I strategized when I was getting a box and one because I was labeled as a scoring machine, if I could use those same skills in life to help somebody, they're counter-transference. And that's what my mission is today. I may not be a Nobel Peace Prize winner. I may not even be able to help someone you know. But my mission in life is to take the things that the playground offered me and help somebody else.
I don't know why, other than I came back to give what was given to me. And the reason why I came back is because many people poured into me as a young man growing up in Salem, growing up in Los Angeles and Arizona. I'm fortunate to have gotten great mentors along the way. I was given an athletic scholarship in high school, and those same people who poured into my life then are still currently pouring into my life now.
It was interesting. Larry was a young man who had unbelievable quickness and could shoot the ball on range beyond what you would believe. The thing that I remember most, Larry, about your jump shots,
yes,
you shot the longest bank shots of all time.
yes, that's my shot. I still,
You can shoot 28-footers off the glass.
Yeah.
Most of the time, if guys shoot them off the glass, that's an accident.
yes,
But you banked in the longest jump shots I've ever seen. And when I first was watching, I thought, a couple lucky shots.
Yeah.
But no, that's Larry. That's
Yeah.
what Larry does.
yeah, thank you.
And so he was unique in that aspect, and unique talent, a guy that could, no question, been a major college talent. Could have played at major colleges. Nobody around that I've ever seen could ever guard Larry Wilson.
Thank you. That's fine.
The biggest thing Larry had going against him was kind of had a chip on his shoulder and had an attitude.
Yeah.
Just didn't understand life, but you could see all the potential in this kid if he would get rid of some of that anger in his deep in his soul. And one of those kids that could play basketball, and this was a tool that I've always used. Hey, I like to win as much as anybody, and we won the championship with Larry Chemeka. But you know, the bottom line is, I couldn't even tell you how many wins I have or how many losses I have, but I could tell you a lot of success stories, and here's one of them.
October 16th, 2004, I found myself in a very difficult situation. And the situation was, I actually didn't know I was in. I was life flighted from Salem, Oregon to Oregon Health Science University because I had been shot point blank with a 12-gauge shotgun. Twice. Did not realize that I was even existing in this world. I do remember having, I don't know if I'd call it an out-of-body experience, but it was an experience where I felt like I was standing on the outside, and my wife at the time was in the driveway in her car, and the garage door was going up, and the paramedics were coming through the door, and I'm on the outside looking at this whole picture. And I remember them putting oxygen on me. I remember them, I mean, I could just see it like as if you're observing me now talk. I could see them as they were performing CPR. And what I recall the most was that haze. And the haze was something that was telling me, it's going to be all right, although you can't interpret what I'm saying. And I know that sounds really strange, but you know, when you have these experiences, only you know, and God, or God as you understand him, knows and helps you to incorporate that understanding. Well, later, after I went to counseling for 2 years, I now understand that it was my body and my energy taking over to give me a chance to live.
But this photo is a picture of me in high school. And I was going to, remember this guy with the fro mark?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But that guy right there was lost. And I had friends who stepped in when the rest of the world had stepped out.
And so I'm grateful to come back. And the reason this interview is so important to me is because if you look around the country, there's so much killing, stealing, pillaging, and people are in a dire strait. There's just trouble, and it's lack of communication. I mean, it's not about race, it's about grace. People have to come to some point in their life and understand we have to get along. We are a melting pot of equality across the country. It's about people helping people get to where you gotta go. But my mission is to help those who have helped me by being an example of extending the olive branch. I'm grateful. I'm here to help you with athletics, academics, relationships, friendships, to talk about things that are difficult to talk about. But most of all, be willing to listen. We're all talented in many areas, and our life mission is to use that talent, outsource that talent, help others become the best. The USA is a place that we should be grateful and honored. This is a land of opportunity, and I believe that my mission is to help others. I'm here to provide an opportunity for you.
I'm Conrad, the shot doctor, and you can bank on this. This program is designed to help you become a better athlete. Mental toughness, concentration, doesn't matter where you are on the court, the ball will fall if you follow the diagram that's associated with this video. I look forward to helping you, providing you lessons, private lessons, speaking engagements, talking to groups to become better. Here we go. Automatic, every time. No matter where you're at on the court. Use these principles. I can have you backing guys up, but remember, you gotta use the backboard. Most overlooked shot in the world. You can bank on it. Just like that. Boom! Look at that, out of bounds line. All day. You gotta have that rhythm. Just like that. Backward. Boom! Literally amazing. I want to help you get your game better. I believe if you want your game to get better and have the skill set of a chance to get an academic athletic scholarship or get further into the NBA or work on your game, contact the shot doctor. And you too can do it in your older age like me. Boom! Yeah. Boom! Automatic. Boom! I'm Conrad, the shot doctor. I'm here to help you get your game better.
Surprised I even made it this far. You know? God had to have his hand on it. Should've died a long time ago.
Should've been there when I lived in sin.
I used to cry a long time ago.
Dear Lord, when this life will end.
This is production.
God has plans for me. He's got plans for me. God has plans for me. He's got plans for me.
Why do bad things happen to good people? The devil tryna mess with your homie, you good people. Say, have you ever been down in the mud? Have you ever been down on your luck? Have you ever been kicked and pushed aside like you ain't worthy enough? They would laugh when I was broke, they would smile when I was down. It was funny till I got back off the ground. You remember that, bro? Hey, with the love of Jesus Christ and his power in our lives, you can shine, brother, right before they eyes. They said I'd be dead before I ever hit 21. I'm 31 and I still got more years to come. take no credit for it. I can't take no credit. Ain't nothing I did to deserve the love he planned for me already. Say, I can't take no credit for it. I can't take no credit. Ain't nothing I did to deserve the love he planned for me already. I deserve the deepest pit. I deserve to be sent to hell. I deserve torment and suffering. I deserve the worstest punishment, man. All the bad things I did in this vessel, every bad word and curse word I've ever said with my mouth. Jesus, thank you for saving me. Should've died a long time ago.
Should've been there when I lived in sin.
I used to cry a long time ago.
Did all when this life will end. God has planned.